Scarlette Douglas is a seasoned TV presenter. I mean, you mentioned race. I think diversity has improved on our screens, but do you think there's still a way to go?
I do still think there's a way to go.
What's stopping, what do you think is a kind of a barrier to that?
I think television companies, and sorry ITV, I'm going to say it, and I've just been with your show, but there's a reason why. They don't like to take risks. Well, they do take risks, but you have to think there's a lot of money that's at risk. So if you put someone in front of camera that you're putting a lot of money into that's not good, you're then risking a show potentially flopping that's had a lot of money behind it. So I absolutely understand they will always use the staple names that they have, people that are household names, we know they're safe, and they smash it. You know every time you put them in the room, they're going to kill it. Phil and Holly, they're going to kill it. So they have these names that are great, but it still is taking a while for new talent to come up to then also get that status of, we know you're safe bet, we know the audience love you, so we're going to keep using you for things. They are so much better now, especially at getting people that are diverse, people that are disabled, people that are from all sorts of backgrounds, people that are LGBTQ plus community. And I think the one thing for me that I would love ITV to reinstate is, or would be shows like Extra Factor, the Extra Camp, I'm a Celebrity, the bit on the side. You know, there are all these shows that had the spin-offs, didn't they? Yeah, exactly. And that was where a lot of new talent would start. So, you know, a lot of people would have done, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, would smash it, and then they'd end up hosting the next year Extra Camp. So then it's the bit on the side, you know, it doesn't cost as much to make. It's not as much of a risk because it's not sitting in the huge time slot that the main show is sitting on. And I had a meeting with a couple of the talent people that were at ITV a few weeks ago. And even they said, we're gutted that those shows have all been scrapped because that was the perfect place for new talent. So that's why I say ITV, I'm gutted that that's happened, because for people like me, for other people that, yes, they're known, but they still don't have that big platform, could be learning more skill sets on these shows. You know, most of the shows I do, in fact, pretty much all the shows I do, are pre-recorded. So if I mess up, great, we'll start again. It gets edited.
Just like I was messing up.
Right?
Before we started.
But no one's going to know that because it gets edited.
I'll add it.
Right? The outtakes.
Yeah. As a contestant, I'll do it again. You'd recognise today's...
Relax. Don't get the giggles, because if you get the giggles, it's game over.
No. As a presenter of... Oh,
you're doing it!
Well.
You overthought it!
Doing so well!
You overthought
it!
I
felt like I was rushing it a little bit, and I need to just relax and let it flow.
Listen, if it rushes, it rushes. That's how we talk, naturally.
Yeah.
We talk quick.
We get subtitles, so for the
So, but whereas with live, it's a complete different ballgame. You've got in-ear, you've got open or closed talk back, so the director's talking to you whilst you're having your interview, telling you you've only got 10 seconds before you get to the break, and this person is deep into some sort of conversation, and you're thinking, how do I wrap this up? These are skills that, yes, I have learned to a certain degree, but I haven't mastered yet, and I would have been able to do that on a show like Extra Camp if that was still there. So I think those platforms for new up-and-coming talent, or to nurture talents that's there, that's growing, isn't there as much as I would like it to be. And I think Channel 4 are very good at taking on new talent, taking those risks. Even they did Black to Front Day a couple of years ago now, a year and a half ago, that myself and my brother were very lucky to be a part of, where it was 24 hours of just black content. Everyone in front of the camera was black, as many people as possible behind camera were black. And I just love that they took that risk. For us, it's not a risk, we're black every day. We see black people every day.
And we know what we're capable of.
Exactly. Being a part of that was very humbling and just amazing and outside of the box and brilliant. So I love that, and I just would love ITV to do more things. They've got ITVX now, they've got their streaming platform. So it's like, well then why don't you bring these back? You can do it. It's not going to cost as much. So.
Well, let's hope that someone from ITV is watching
and listening. And don't cancel me.
Don't cancel it. Promote her, please. A bigger platform for Scarlette. I mean, you've got so many career highs, but I mean, what is the number one high for you? Is it I'm a Celebrity, or is it
I have so many highs. I would say, it's so tough. I think that would have been a career high of last year, definitely. Before I got offered that, I had my own property show, which was called My Dream Don't Reclaim in the Sun, which is on HGTV and Discovery Plus. And that was my first ever only show that was just me. With The Place in the Sun, there are 10 different presenters, whereas this was my only show, so that was incredible. And then to have been given or offered I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and to have been a part of it, when it's come back to Australia, being in the jungle, like I said, with incredible names, and just being surrounded by that talent was...
And spiders.
And all the spiders, yeah,
spiders.
was amazing. And I just think it's something that was a pivotal moment in my career that I'll never forget, ever. And it is something that came about sooner than I ever thought it would have. I didn't think my profile was even big enough to do that show for at least a couple more years. So the fact that Mickey at Lifted, who was a talent booker, believed that I would be good enough and that I got the opportunity was mind-blowing for me.
Amazing. And I mean, not a lot of people talk about this, but what would you say was a career low or a time when you felt like giving up?
Oh, I've had had some of those. Working on A Place in the Sun was very difficult, very, very difficult towards the end of my time there. And the end of 2020, we're in 2023 now, right? So the end of 2021, I had a big burnout, like a really big burnout. And I was actually over in Dubai, and it was not, like looking back, I was not in a good place at all. And I would probably cry myself to sleep nearly every night. I would be working out ways that I just didn't have to do this anymore.
Okay.
Whether that be work, whether that be life, I was in a really bad, dark place. I didn't tell anyone at all. And that's the worst thing you can do. If you feel like that, you have to speak to people, because when you start to talk it out, you start to talk yourself out of certain things and you realise, what was I thinking? I would not be doing what I'm doing here if I had done the things that I thought I wanted to do a year and a bit ago. And that was for a lot of things. It was the team at A Place in the Sun weren't supporting the fact that I'd got my other show, which is My Duke Dairy Entertainment Sons. They were making things very difficult. I had a partner that I should not have been with at all. It was a very toxic relationship that was draining my energy. And I was just in a place where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was hard. And I just wanted to quit everything. Because I thought if I quit everything, I could start again and there wouldn't be any pressure. When you get to a certain point in a career, there's more pressure to then top that. And then you get to that level, then there's more pressure to work even harder to top that. And you just have to keep going, and then it just becomes this weight on your shoulders. And if you don't have the right people around you supporting you, it can be really hard.
Yeah. And lonely as well, I guess.
Very lonely. And when you don't want to survive, I've got an amazing family that support me, but I couldn't tell them that I was feeling like I was depressed. I mean, I could have, they're amazing people, I can easily talk to them. But for me, I felt like if I said something, that's me being a failure.
Yeah, I think sometimes we think it's a sign of weakness.
Exactly.
But it's actually a sign of strength when you can open up and be honest.
So actually, this is how I'm feeling and I need help. And I never asked for help. And it got to a point where I was like, I have to ask for help. And I spoke to one of my friends and she was like, you cannot be feeling like this and it'd be okay and no one knows. And she had gone through a lot worse than me a few years previously, and it ended up her having mental health issues. I was like, I don't want to get to that point. I have to work on myself. So everything started to get a lot better. The deadwood was gone, things were lighter, I could focus on me, my career was blooming, and now I'm here sat with you, smiling, doing this podcast.
Yeah, and it shows actually if you didn't take that step, who knows what would happen.
Exactly.
And look where you are today.
Yeah.
So I think the key takeaway, I guess, is talking to someone
100%.
and hope.
Yeah, and also knowing that everyone has it.
Yeah.
Everyone will go through a dark time or a hard moment where that roller coaster is on the dip, but just know it's going to come back up.
I remember I had that moment here maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I was driving along Shakeside Road and I had thoughts in my head that I shouldn't have had.
Right.
And at that point, I just felt like I had nothing to continue living for. And I look back and I'm like, wow, how did it get to that? Well, it just happens at times, but you just got to keep moving forward and believing that things will get better because they do and they have.
Yeah.
Especially for you. So I'm so, it's hard to, I don't know what to say. I'm proud, happy for you. Like, it's amazing to see like your journey.
Thank you.
So if you had to give, I don't know, your younger self some advice, or someone who, because I think you're a role model to many people now, and if you had to give advice to our aspiring TV presenters, what would that advice be?
Never, ever, ever stop. And that's never stop believing in yourself, never stop knocking on doors, never stop knowing your talent and your worth. Because a lot of people are going to try and break you down and say, no, you're not right, or you're not good enough, or you're not what we want. But as long as you believe in yourself, trust me, that will take you so far. Like, the amount of times where people have said, no, Scarlette, oh, we don't want you, oh, we think it's great, but, and I've just kept striving, I've just kept pushing. And I think that is super important, because also it makes you more resilient, it makes you stronger, and then when those doors do open, you feel relief, you feel pride, and also you get to go back to those people that said you couldn't do it and be like, Hi.
Remember me?
Remember me? Because I'm here to stay. So yeah, it's all about just pushing through, and it will be hard. But if you want it that much, you can't do it. Ever.
I love that. I don't think there's anything more to say.
Oh, and I would like to say, yeah.
To say.
So the young ladies, find yourself a husband, not a boyfriend, because you will waste your time with guys that are just not good for you. That is my last bit of knowledge and advice that I'd like to impart on the young females out there.
And for the guys, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, what would you tell the guys?
I tell the guys.
Be a husband, not a boyfriend.
Yeah, like, I guess, find someone that's aligned with your values and where you want to get to.
Yes.
And it's not just always about this aesthetics. Obviously, you've got to have that attraction, but what's beneath that?
100%.
That person could be raising your children. What are they going to bring to the table? So.
And the first part you said as well of find people that align with you. I think even outside of relationships, your friendships. Oh my goodness. Your vibe is your tribe. You have to have the right people around you because believe it or not, people do not want to see you succeed and you won't know that until it's too late. So you have to have the right people around you. And if it means that your clique is small, keep it small.
I realised as an adult, I was trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be.
Yes.
And I realised, you know what, I'd rather be loved for being myself by few than liked by many for being not me.
Yeah, and then you'll be unhappy in the
process. And I'll be unhappy, and I was unhappy. So, and it's still a journey, I'm not saying I'm there yet. But that circle, that friends, and just, who you associate with is so important. So, great advice. I hope everyone benefited from today's episode. Thank you for watching. Continue to like, comment, and share. And Scarlett, you've been amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I've loved it. And hit me up if you want to follow me or if you've got any questions. I'm on Instagram at Miss Scarduck. So, yeah.
And as she says that, the words are going to come across the screen.
So I can do this, yeah? Follow me here.
Follow me here. Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
you. Loved it.